What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how you can beat a bigger and stronger DB than you maybe as a smaller wide receiver, or maybe just going up against a bigger physical corner, okay? So I hope this video helps you guys out, teaches you how you guys can use your route running to create separation and not just sheer athleticism, quickness, or just size, okay? So like I said, hope this helps you out, but also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to know the specific things you need to do on a daily basis in the gym, check out that very first link in the description for our 12-week-long wide receiver gym workout plan. So what it is, it's a 3-month-long daily schedule with all the gym exercises wide receivers need to do to improve their speed, their strength, their explosiveness, their power, their route running, and all the above. Broken down every single day is giving you specific workout splits, broken down with sets, repetitions, and we include picture examples of each exercise. You get 3 plans from us, fellas, that we offer separately, so it's going to be at a discounted price. Check out that very first link in the description if you want to improve your skills in the gym. Let's get started with this video. So Garrett Wilson at Ohio State, everybody's been telling me to check out this kid, and I've honestly haven't gotten to it, but today was the day where I got to it, and he is probably the best route runner in college football. It's not even close, but he's not the biggest dude in the world. I would say maybe about, 5'11", maybe even a little bit shorter than that, maybe about 6 foot, but not the biggest guy in the world. And if you're that size of receiver, sometimes if they kick you on the outside, you're going to be going against these longer ranger physical DBs. So how do we beat those guys? So the first thing that's going to take to beat these specific DBs is stepping outside of their frame and using my quickness as a shorter guy to my advantage. So this is a goal line fade here. So you see Wilson does a great job of stepping outside the frame, being sudden with his feet, and then going up and making this play on a goal line fade, right? So I know you guys probably want to see that again just because of how quick he's able to move. I'll play at full speed. Great job stepping outside the frame and throwing the hip. So that's what we're going to talk about. So to move a DB off the platform, right? I don't want to get too close to him. I don't want to get into his range, right? I want to use this space that I have right here when he's about 1 to 2 yards off to threaten him in a specific direction. If I want to take an inside release, I got to be able to actually threaten him to the fade. If I want to take an outside release, I actually have to threaten him on a slant or on a drag or something breaking over the middle. So what do you think I have to do with my feet? I actually have to step outside of his frame. I don't want to step inside of his frame. What so many receivers do that are smaller is that they think by beating a guy with their quickness means that they just step inside of his frame. But you see how Wilson, he's actually stepping here. His hips and his shoulders are actually selling here. That's what's going to get a DB to jump off of that platform. Not the quick, not the fancy footwork, all the slide back and forth, you do the skip release, all that stuff. That's not going to work. What works is threatening the DB inside, threatening the DB outside, and actually selling with my upper half, actually stepping outside the frame and throwing the hip with the cut so I have some explosion. That's what's going to get that guy to jump. If you guys can use the quickness, use the range to where this DB cannot get hands on you as a smaller guy, that's how we could create separation. Like, let's say, for example, you had to run a slant right here. You could use like that little slide release and stay in this range right here, like stay on this path that I just drew, because that DB either has to go at you or he has to shuffle with you because he does not want to give up just that slide and fade, right? So same idea with this type of release when you have a fade. Don't get too close to this DB to where he could get hands. If we're going up against a bigger DB, our game is not going to be hand fighting him. Our game is going to be using the space that he gave me either pre-snap or using the space that I have because I'm off the ball or because of the release that I chose and operating in that space. We want to create separation inside of a phone booth. We hope we get press coverage. That's my mindset as a receiver. Let's watch this thing full speed again one more time. Great job operating in the range, threatening the DB over the middle, then creating space on that goal line fade. Okay, so now, number 2, when you're facing a bigger DB, I know this clip's a little bit blurry, but the resolution will get a little bit better as I play it. The main thing with this, fellas, is you got to understand the mindset of a DB, the IQ of a DB if you're going to be successful as a shorter guy, right? Because obviously everybody would love to be 6'5", run a 4.4 40, but not everybody's built like that. And there certainly are guys who have a little bit easier of a time because of their speed, because of their size. But if you're just like not the fastest guy in the world, not the biggest guy in the world, you can still make it to that next level because you're a great route runner and you're able to create separation. But a lot of that comes down to your football IQ. So this is a great example of that. Same thing, we're looking at film from Garrett Wilson. Let's watch this thing full speed and then we'll break it down. So he does a great job of attacking that leverage and giving that move to the inside on this fade route. So to the untrained eye, right, to a novice receiver, they see a DB who's inside shade like this and you have to run a fade. You're on like the top of the numbers a little bit further down. Anybody would make that mistake where it's like, oh, I could just run off. I could just beat him with speed, especially if maybe you're a shorter, quicker guy. You're thinking that, oh, I could just get him right now. I could just go run. That's exactly what the DB wants you to do. He's inside shade for a reason, right? He's inside shade because he wants to force you to the outside. If he forces you to the outside, he won. Guess why? That sideline is his help. Just like when a DB's in zone coverage and he's outside shade, he wants you to go inside because the safety is his help. So it's the opposite. So what I have to do is I have to threaten him to where he doesn't want me to go. So he's inside shade. He's he's taught not to give up the inside. So if I stem him off the line of scrimmage and I attack him, what's he going to do? He's going to keep his leverage. You see how he's weaving to the inside. Guess what that does? That creates a lot of space for myself, but also it gets this DB on the heels. And when I could get this DB on his heels and get him to backpedal, when I decide to make that move like he does, where I make that 1-2, and you see how much he's selling with his hips, how much he's selling with his shoulders, because that's where the DB is looking. He's trying to read that body language. And if my body language sells inside, that can get that DB off the platform to try to seal the inside. And now I have all kinds of space to where the quarterback could fade me outside, but also space to where I could go run. Imagine if he had to run like a 10-yard out right here. He could burst up right here into this spot and then just snap this thing right off and go run the 10-yard out. But instead we have a fade. Now I have some space for the quarterback to fade me. I didn't just go run to the sideline and this DB get right into my hip pocket and wall me off. That's what so many shorter guys do who are quicker than everybody else, is that they think that they can just beat guys with speed. Oh, I'm just going to go take off and run. No, you have to have the football IQ to create separation. Every receiver, I anticipate that if you're playing at the high school level or above, probably a pretty good athlete, right? So there's nothing on that field that maybe you cannot do physically, right? Like I'm confident that every single receiver can learn a release. I'm not confident that every single receiver knows when to use the release. And that's the name of the game, fellas. The name of the game is knowing when to execute this stuff. You shouldn't go into a game and be like, oh, I got 30 releases I worked this offseason. I'm going to go out there and just work them all no matter what. No, you got to have a plan. You got to understand why a DB plays a certain way and understand how you can structure your routes or structure your releases to the routes that you have in your playbook. That's how you get separation. The details matter when you are undersized. Take it from a guy who knows. Take it from a guy who's not the biggest dude in the world. The details matter at the receiver position when you're a shorter guy, just like how the details matter at the quarterback position when you're a shorter guy. And I got experience in both. Trust me, that's what gets you open against those bigger physical guys. You're at a disadvantage before the ball is snapped. You have to get that advantage back by being detailed with whatever you do. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job attacking him. Great job selling to the inside, having that high football IQ so we could get that quarterback to fade me back outside. So now, last thing we're looking at here, and this is Chris, it's not Olave. I think that's how you say his last name. I was getting ripped to shreds on TikTok for saying that name wrong, so I'm hoping that's correct. But Chris Olave, and he's going to be running this like peek back 10-yard out route, right? So the big thing when you're going up against a bigger physical dude, right, is just, again, like they bring up the details. You want to make your routes look the same. You have to have a strategy behind the routes that you're running, especially based on where you're at on the field, right? So we're on the goal line here. So what are we always afraid of as a DB when we're on the goal line is that goal line jump ball, like some people call it a moss ball, whatever it is, you're always afraid of that, right? You don't want to get beat to the fade. So as a receiver, if I have like an out route, a slant route, whatever it is, I'm trying to build off of that. I'm trying to threaten him with that goal line fade, just like how if I'm in the middle of the field, I'm trying to threaten him with that 4 vertical fade, right? So let's watch this full speed. So Olave does a great job of selling fade with his eyes. Now, everybody says that, oh, this only worked because the DB put his eyes in the backfield. It's like, yeah, because we made him put his eyes in the backfield because we sold this route correctly. DB should have stayed on him, but even if the DB stays on him, Olave sold this route so well that got this DB to sit on the fade. So let's talk about it, right? So I got inside shade DB. Talked about it from the very beginning. Why is he inside shade? To protect the inside. He wants to force us outside. So what does Olave do off the line? He attacks his leverage. This is kind of putting everything together that we just talked about. Attack the leverage, keep him disciplined on the inside, and now he goes with this peek back move. So as soon as that DB sees his eyes start to peek back, what's he thinking? Ball's coming. He's going to go try to make a play on this ball, and now when he has no hands, eyes in the backfield, I got him. This is easy work right here from Olave. This is easy to just put the brakes on right there and be able to burst out and run and create some separation. Now let's talk about like what if he had to run a slant, right? Let's say maybe we stem him a little bit off the line, and then I burst back up, I peek back with my eyes like I'm running a fade. He jumps to the outside, and I slip back under and run like a diamond release slant. There's so many different things that you can build off of that goal line fade when you're in the red zone. And the goal line is tough for shorter guys because those bigger guys, like those like Mike Evans type guys, and Mike Evans actually does a great job of running routes down here. They could just body a DB. They could just give him a shock release, get real physical, kind of like box him out over the middle and make a catch. As a shorter dude, you want to be an asset in the red zone. And how we do that is by making my routes look the same, making everything I do a strategy, and it's strategic, the moves that I'm putting together. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. The details matter, fellas. If you're a shorter guy, the details 100% matter 100% of the time. Great route there by Olave. All right, guys, we want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Always appreciate the feedback. Always appreciate the things you guys have to say. It really helps me stay motivated to keep making videos for this channel, so I definitely appreciate it. And again, fellas, if you want a 12-week long wide receiver gym workout plan, check out that very first link in the description below. It's 12 weeks of daily exercises with sets, repetitions, picture examples of each exercise, rest periods, conditioning days, everything that you can think of for wide receivers to work on their physicality, strength, speed, explosiveness. Check out that very first link below. I'll see you guys next time.